Wasn't it just last week Stephen A was on air bragging about the people he stood up for to get paid and how many, Cam, I did it for Shannon Sharp and I did it for this person and that person. And when I look at the abrupt, I'm not coming into work tomorrow, that also is maybe there's pointing the finger at Stephen A.
More details have been released as to why Molly Qerim abruptly quit ESPN. And when I say abruptly quit, I mean she left work, I think it was on Monday, and...
On September 16th, Molly Qerim shocked everyone with an Instagram post that stunned the whole ESPN world. She said that her longtime First Take co-host, Stephen A. Smith, had set her up behind the scenes. Her post caused major chaos at the network, phones started ringing, group chats went crazy, and ESPN executives rushed to control the situation before it got worse.
Last night, she abruptly resigned as the host of the show. And to say that I'm quite sad about it.
Emergency meetings broke out at ESPN headquarters as stressed managers dealt with angry calls from sponsors. A big sports drink company and a fantasy sports brand both demanded explanations. People wanted to know who allowed this to happen, and how did Molly manage to post that? The atmosphere was extremely tense, and by the next morning, things started moving very quickly.
A lot of times, some of these things happen, and it's just uncomfortable to see. The details, quite frankly, are none of y'all business, but it's not as if I know all the details. It was a contract negotiation that was going on. ESPN certainly did not want to lose her, but in the end,
Molly's contract was suddenly ended. Her desk was cleared out, and her ID was shut off as if she had never worked there. Meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith walked onto the set, but something seemed different. The man, usually full of confidence, looked tense, quiet, and uncomfortable. His normal energy was gone, replaced by a serious look as he read what sounded more like a damage control statement than a sports debate. By noon the next day, ESPN was already trying hard to fix the situation.
It's quitting right now. Both ESPN and Molly Qerim, they are trying to polish they're trying to make this look like an amicable divorce. And look, maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. Maybe they couldn't come to an agreement and they agreed to amicably part ways. I'm more interested.
Top executives quickly released a carefully worded statement saying that Molly Qerim simply left ESPN after contract renewal talks didn't work out. The message came directly from Burke Magnus, ESPN's president of content, who told The Athletic there was no controversy and nothing more to the story. But few people believed it. The calm, polished tone only made the rumors spread faster.
Molly is a friend. Molly is a co-worker. Molly is somebody that I have leaned on many occasions in the past, as she has done when it comes to me. We've been partners on the show.
Behind the scenes, ESPN staff were panicking. Producers were messaging each other, and insiders were whispering in the hallways. The stories they shared didn't match the official version at all. Several employees said Molly was suddenly removed from meetings, and her name and graphics were deleted from the show before her Instagram post had even settled. Something clearly didn't make sense, and everyone could feel it. ESPN even sent internal emails telling staff not to talk or guess about the situation in public, which only made things look even more suspicious. Why tell people to stay quiet if there's really nothing to hide?
The thing I thought, Steve, was when you pay Stephen A. Smith $20 million, that means, okay, well, whoever his co-host is, they're going to want an exorbitant amount of money. And so she may have been making $2.5, $3 million as the host. Well, when Stephen A. is sitting there making 20, well, maybe now she wants...
People began putting pieces together that ESPN's management clearly didn't want connected. Then came the uncomfortable moment, Stephen A. Smith's next First Take appearance. He tried to smile through the tension, calling Molly classy and professional, but never mentioned why she disappeared so suddenly. No goodbye, no reason, nothing. Now, ESPN is already deep into a 30 to 45-day search for her replacement, with 3 major names quietly being discussed in private meetings.
Molly Qerim, yesterday when we talked, we knew that she was leaving, but we didn't know she was leaving immediately, which is an indication that, man, this thing's a bit more complicated than just they couldn't settle on the money. It just seems more seriously. She's off.
The real shock in Molly Qerim's claim goes far beyond a simple contract problem. She's accusing Stephen A. Smith of actually setting her up. According to her, he was secretly criticizing her work to ESPN executives while pretending to be friendly with her on air. That's harsh. And then, she backed it up with receipts.
When I heard that it was immediate, I was like, oh, she must already have a job lined up. And the job that she has lined up must be some sort of competitor to ESPN. And so that made me, is she going to...
Screenshots and staff chat logs from just days before Molly's exit appeared online, showing that Stephen A. had been meeting privately with producers, supposedly planning changes without telling her. One insider claimed that after their heated on-air argument, Stephen A. demanded that a whole segment, one that Molly had hosted, be removed from replay rotation. That's a serious power move if true.
Jason, I actually watched that whole video clip of Stephen A. Smith. I just thought it was fun. It ain't none of y'all's business. It was a contract negotiation. Well, oh, that was about the money. Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for cluing it. It's always about the money, though. It's like in boxing. Why didn't this fight happen?
Two production team members even said that Stephen A. wanted Molly gone so he could take on a bigger role and land a massive $100 million contract that, strangely, was fast-tracked just hours after she left. The timing seemed way too suspicious to ignore. When ESPN's legal team started getting questions about whether Molly's exit was connected to Stephen's huge payday, the company quickly denied everything, insisting there was no link, no tie, no connection. But Stephen himself couldn't keep his story straight. On live TV, he nervously told viewers, "It's not as if I know all the details," and then seconds later started mentioning contract dates and inside info that only top executives would know. Even rival hosts began throwing shade, asking the question everyone was thinking: who approved this, and why?
When you have someone abruptly quit a job, they're not leaving on the best terms. Normally, it's polite to give your employer some...
By September 17th, the quiet rumors had turned into full-blown chaos. A former ESPN road manager came forward, claiming that Molly Qerim was secretly offered a large payout, but only if she signed an NDA and stayed silent. That's not the kind of rumor people can ignore. Neither Molly nor her agent has commented on the alleged hush money, but the internet went crazy after she ended her Instagram post with one chilling line: "Stay tuned." That single phrase made everyone believe she's not finished speaking out, especially since it came just hours after ESPN released their "nothing to see here" press statement. The timing seemed far too perfect to be a coincidence.
To FS1 or launches her own show on YouTube. I wish Molly Qerim nothing but the best. I don't want to see her fail, but at the same time, I don't see a path to success. It is hard to build an audience by yourself. It's hard to build and sustain an audience when it's...
By late September, the situation at ESPN had spiraled into full-blown chaos. Top sports lawyers reviewing the timeline suggest Molly Qerim might be preparing to sue Stephen A. Smith and ESPN for hostile work environment and wrongful termination, pointing to patterns in past scandals that only came to light once lawsuits were filed. Insiders say ESPN went into lockdown internally, erasing mentions of Molly as if she never existed, while senior PR staff scrambled to handle aggressive inquiries from partners worried about another reputation disaster. Meanwhile, Stephen A. tried to rehabilitate his image on air with emotional tributes to Molly, calling her a friend and longtime co-worker, but viewers found his words rehearsed and hollow. Social media quickly dug up clips of him snapping at Molly on set and being patronizing, which fans labeled as hostile behavior, and deleted segments showing her publicly correcting him added to the awkwardness. Former producers claimed his treatment of Molly had grown increasingly aggressive over months, escalating from playful banter to confrontation. Shockingly, just 48 hours after her Instagram post, ESPN promoted Stephen A., expanding his Monday Night Football role and giving him broader NBA and NFL coverage, which fueled speculation about favoritism and double standards. The network allegedly rushed out Mala Andrews' new contract as a distraction, while Stephen A.'s public statements kept shifting, drawing criticism from analysts like Emmanuel Ho, who exposed his contradictions live on air. Fans flooded social media with #IStandWithMolly and #BoycottFirstTake, demanding accountability as outrage mounted. Behind the scenes, the tension, secrecy, and conflicting narratives suggest a deeply fractured workplace where power, loyalty, and PR control are clashing, and viewers are left wondering what's really going on, with every new update intensifying the drama.